The notice went up at dawn.
Brock himself had posted it, his handwriting more urgent than usual.
New dungeon discovered, Deep Whisperwood, first floor survey, rank FE, parties welcome. A new dungeon.
Not a cave or a den, but a real, formed dungeon with mana crystallized walls and core-generated monster spawns. I stared at the notice for a long time, my coffee growing cold in my hands. In my past life, I'd mapped some of the greatest dungeons in existence.
The Labyrinth of Eternal Night. The Sky Spire. The Abyssal Trench.
But this was different. This was a new dungeon, untouched, unexplored, full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered. And it was in my backyard.
Nora found me staring and immediately started jumping up and down.
Finn arrived moments later, out of breath, holding his new reinforced hammer.
We looked at each other.
We didn't need words.
Our first real dungeon was waiting. A new dungeon. Genuinely new.
In the Whisperwood of all places. I can feel the mana signature from here, it's stable, structured, and complex.
This isn't just a cave. It's a formed dungeon.
In my past life, I explored dungeons that had existed for millennia. But a new dungeon, that's rare.
Dungeons grow and evolve based on the mana they absorb. A new one means unknown layouts, unknown spawns, unknown everything. Lien. I heard. A new dungeon. We have to go. This is what we've been training for. Nora's enthusiasm is contagious. She's right, this is what we've been training for. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited too. I came as soon as I heard. If we're doing this, I'm bringing my best work.
The Whisperwood Rangers.
That's what Nora named our party.
3 kids with a dream, a shield, and a magic hammer.
I have a feeling this is the beginning of something unforgettable. The path to the new dungeon took us deeper into the Whisperwood than either Nora or I had ever gone.
Finn led the way, his newly enchanted hammer held ready. He'd never been this deep either, but he refused to show fear.
The forest changed as we went deeper.
The trees grew thicker, their bark covered in luminescent moss. The air grew cool and still.
And then we found it. The dungeon entrance. It wasn't a cave mouth or a crack in the earth. It was a perfectly formed archway of swirling stone, as if the forest itself had opened a door. Runes I didn't recognize were carved into the frame. Ancient. Predating the current magical era. I felt a pull. A resonance. Like the dungeon was calling to something inside me. Nora bumped my shoulder. You ready, Lien?
I gripped my staff.
Took a breath. And nodded. The deeper Whisperwood is different. The mana here is older, denser, more aware.
This forest has been here for thousands of years.
It remembers things. This is so cool. The moss is glowing. And the air feels tingly. Like before a thunderstorm. Mana Sight shows me the truth of this place. The entire forest is a network of living energy. And somewhere ahead, there's a concentration so dense it glows like a second sun. By the stars. I've seen thousands of dungeon entrances in my time. But I've never seen one like this.
The architecture predates modern civilization. This dungeon has been here long before Sunhollow existed.
The runes are ancient. A dialect of Old Magian that hasn't been spoken in 3,000 years.
The translation reads, "The deep remembers.
The core awakens." This isn't a normal dungeon.
The runes on the arch are pre-era. This place has been sealed for a very long time.
The moment my mana touched the veil, I felt something. Not a presence, but an echo. Like the dungeon recognized me. You ready, Lien? First real dungeon. First real adventure. Let's show this place what the Whisperwood Rangers can do.
The old sage in me wants to study every rune and catalog every layer. But the 5-year-old boy in me just wants to see what's inside. I think I'll let the boy lead this time. Let's go explore a dungeon.
Stepping through the veil was like passing through a curtain of warm water. The sensation lasted only a moment. And then we were inside. The first thing that struck me was the light. The dungeon wasn't dark, it glowed. The walls were made of smooth crystalline rock that pulsed with soft blue-green veins of light. Like being inside a giant geode. The air was cool and still, carrying a faint mineral scent. Our footsteps echoed in the vast silence. Nora whispered, "It's beautiful." Finn whispered back, "It's creepy is what it is." Beautiful and creepy. I didn't say anything. I was too busy feeling the dungeon's mana signature. It was old. Very old. And it was awake. The dungeon interior is made of crystallized mana residue. This formation takes centuries of stable mana concentration. This place is far older than I initially estimated. It's like being inside a treasure chest. A really, really big treasure chest. Beautiful and creepy. Like a haunted cathedral made of gems. The dungeon has a heartbeat. I can feel it through mana sight. Slow. Deep. Resonant. Like an enormous sleeping creature breathing in perfect rhythm. I can map this dungeon through mana sight. The energy patterns reveal the layout like a living blueprint. This is an advantage I didn't have in my past life. The dungeon is stable. The mana flows in predictable patterns. I can sense two paths ahead, one leading deeper, and one that loops back to the entrance. Stay close, stay quiet, and let me guide us. The corridor narrowed. Crystalline formations jutted from the walls like frozen fountains. And then we heard them. Skittering. Chittering. Echoing from all directions. Mana beetles. They emerged from the shadows, their carapaces gleaming like polished obsidian with glowing blue runic patterns. They were the size of dinner plates, with mandibles that clicked with hungry anticipation. F-rank monsters. But there were dozens of them. Nora didn't wait. She charged forward with a battle cry, her shield raised. Finn followed, his hammer already swinging. I hung back, mana sight active, analyzing their movements, looking for the pattern. Mana beetles have a hive mind. Injure the lead one, and the rest panic. I aimed a precise wind blade at the largest beetle's leg joint. It crumpled. The swarm faltered. That was all the opening the party needed. The corridor narrows. Good defensive position, they can only come at us a few at a time. But I have a feeling we won't have to wait long to meet the locals. Mana beetles. F-rank swarm-type monsters. Individually weak, but in groups they can overwhelm larger predators through sheer numbers. Perfect for testing a new party. Whisperwood Rangers. Forward. Get back. Hive mind. The larger one is the anchor. Sever the anchor, sever the coordination. We did it. Our first real dungeon fight. And we won. You saw that, right? I shield bashed two of them. Not bad. Not bad at all. The enchantment held up perfectly. Mana beetle cores. Different from slime cores, they're attuned to the dungeon's frequency. I could use these for something special. Maybe a resonance-based enchantment. Beyond the beetle corridor, the dungeon opened into a sight that made even me stop in my tracks. An underground grove filled with giant glowing mushrooms. Bioluminescent fungi that towered above us like trees of light. Their caps glowed in shades of purple, pink, and cyan, casting the cavern in an otherworldly twilight. Spores drifted through the air like tiny floating stars, leaving trails of soft light in their wake. A stream of crystalline water wound through the grove, glowing with its own inner light. Nora walked into the middle of it, arms outstretched, face tilted up, letting the spores drift around her. Finn sat on a mushroom cap, it was bouncy, and took a moment to rest. I just stood there, breathing in the mana-rich air, feeling the dungeon's magic flow through this beautiful chamber. This, I said quietly, is why I became an adventurer. Nora looked at me. I thought you wanted a quiet life. I smiled. This is a quiet life. Just with more glowing mushrooms. I've seen the crystal tower at sunset. The elemental plains. The auroral gardens of the northern wastes. But this belongs on that list. Okay. I take it back. Not creepy at all. This is actually amazing. This is why I became an adventurer. I thought you wanted a quiet life. Sleeping in. Reading books. Taking naps. I used to think peace meant stillness. Now I know it means moments like this, surrounded by light, by friends, by wonder. The quiet life isn't about doing nothing. It's about being exactly where you're meant to be. This is a quiet life. Just with more glowing mushrooms. Beyond the grove, the dungeon changed again. The playful colors faded, replaced by a deep, pulsing amber glow. The walls became smoother, more structured. Less natural cave, more constructed chamber. We had found the heart of the dungeon, the core chamber. The door was massive. A circular stone slab covered in runes that matched the entrance arch. It didn't open by force. It opened by resonance. I stepped forward without thinking. My hand touched the door. The runes flared to life. The door ground open, revealing a chamber of impossible light. At its center, floating in midair, was the dungeon core. A crystal the size of my head, rotating slowly, its surface a kaleidoscope of swirling colors, blues, golds, purples, greens, all shifting in an endless dance. The moment I saw it, I felt it. A resonance. A connection. The core recognized something in me. And I recognized something in it. The dungeon's architecture is changing. From organic growth to deliberate construction. We're approaching something important. A resonance lock. The door only opens for someone whose mana signature matches the dungeon's frequency. This isn't a barrier, it's a test. It's not budging at all. Finn, try hitting it. It's not a door you force. It's a door you speak to. The door resonates with my mana. It recognizes the Star Sage's signature. But that's impossible, this dungeon predates my original life by millennia. Unless, it's not recognizing Aldrich. It's recognizing something deeper. The dungeon core. The heart of this place. Every dungeon has a crystallized concentration of the dungeon's mana, its memory, its identity. I've seen 100 cores in my time. But this one feels different. The core's energy signature. I know it. But how? I've never been in this dungeon before. Yet my soul remembers. It remembers this. This core, it's made of the same essence as my soul. Star-touched mana. This dungeon wasn't formed by random natural processes. It was formed around something. Something that fell from the sky. Something connected to the stars. Something connected to me. We didn't push further. The first floor was mapped, the core located, and we had learned enough for one day. Back at the guild, Brock listened to our report with growing astonishment. You reached the core chamber on your first expedition, he boomed. That's unprecedented. Nora recounted every battle with grand gestures. Finn showed off the beetle carapace he'd kept as a trophy. I sat quietly, nursing a warm cup of honey milk, the feeling of the core's resonance still humming in my chest. Brock gave us each a bonus 5 extra silver for exceptional initiative. Nora spent hers immediately on candy. Finn bought new leather straps for his hammer. I held mine in my palm and thought about the core. About the runes on the door. About the strange, magnetic pull I felt. This dungeon held secrets. And I had a feeling they were connected to who I really was. But that was a mystery for another day. Tonight, I was just a boy who had explored his first real dungeon with his best friends. And that was enough. Back in the familiar warmth of the guild. It feels like we were gone for days, but it's only been a few hours. Time moves differently in dungeons.
And then Lien, with this look on his face, just touches the door and it opens.
Like magic. Well, it was magic. But you know what I mean. The core is still humming in my mana. I can feel it even now, miles away. It's not a call, it's an invitation. But to what? And why me? 3 silver for the expedition bonus.
But the real treasure is in the core chamber, waiting.
And I'll be back to claim its secrets.
I became Aldrich Starshine by seeking power and knowledge.
I became Lien by seeking peace and friendship.
But looking at these two, Nora with candy smeared on her cheek, Finn already planning his next craft project, I realize I don't have to choose.
I can have both. The Deep Forest dungeon holds mysteries I'm eager to unravel. But right now, sitting here with my party, watching Nora try to balance her lollipop on her nose, I'm exactly where I need to be.